Thank you for coming in for your board candidate interview. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your name, your neighborhood, any clubs and groups that you're involved in?
Okay, my name is Bobbi Morrison. I moved here, I built here I actually moved in July 2020 during COVID, so that was fun. I have been a part of the Sandpiper group. I live in Sandpiper. I've been a part of the Sandpiper committee. I've also been a part of the pickleball committee. I served as secretary and as president of the pickleball committee. I'm involved in day trippers and a few other things. I retired 3 years ago, so I'm kind of like filling out what else I can do.
Well, great. Let's dive right in. What motivated you to run for the HOA board?
I love our community. We have a great place. I think that there's been a lot of really good decisions made, but it doesn't hurt to have a new set of eyes and see new opportunities. So I kind of feel like I can bring that to the board.
Okay, great. What experience do you have that you believe will benefit our community?
I taught school for 38 years. The majority of that was at the high school level. I'm very good with understanding diversity and understanding the need for a lot of different programs. I was part of the PTO. I was, department chair. I've been involved in book selection. There's just a lot of things as a teacher that I can bring to the table, but I also can bring to the table the ability to look at many views and bring that together.
Great, thank you. How familiar are you with the current bylaws, rules, and regulations of our HOA, and have you read all of the governing documents?
I am very familiar with it. I'm not going to go out there and say I've read every single one of them, but I have read the majority of them. I read a lot of them when I moved in. And then in various roles with the neighborhood, with pickleball, with other things, I've also read a lot of those documents that pertain to that. And as a homeowner, that was my responsibility to read a lot of those.
Great. How much time are you able to commit to your role as an HOA board member?
Well, I'm retired. I have a lot of time. And I love it. And I'm willing to do that.
Okay. Have you served on an HOA board before? If so, what was your experience?
I have not, because I didn't have the time, because I was teaching. And then I moved here and I felt like I needed to get familiar with what was going on. But I will also say that through my teaching experience, I've had to learn to navigate a lot of different areas. And so while I'm not served on an HOA board because I really didn't have the time, I do have I'm very good at communicating and very good at listening, because that's just part of my job. It was part of my job.
Great, thank you. How would you ensure that your actions as a board member are aligned with the overall needs of our community rather than pursuing a specific personal agenda or goal, or the goal of a particular club or group?
One of the best things about living here is the diversity. We all have different interests. We all have different abilities, and everybody should have the opportunity to enjoy what they do. Do I play pickleball? I absolutely do. But if I could sing, I would be in the singing group. Nobody wants to hear that. We don't want to go there. But thank gosh we have the opportunity to explore all the things that interest us. And that's one of the reasons I love living here.
Great, thank you. How do you approach conflict resolution, especially when dealing with disagreements among residents or board members?
I'm very good at listening to both sides, because there are always two sides. And so I have the ability to listen to those sides. And then I feel like once you listen to those, you can find a place to meet in the middle. There has to be compromise. We can't be all the way one way and all the way the other. There has to be a middle between them because nobody's perfect. So I'm very good at finding that middle ground.
Okay. How would you handle a situation where a board decision you supported was unpopular with a significant portion of the community?
Well, one, I have to understand why the board made that decision, because sometimes the community doesn't understand what's going on with the backside of it. I think communication is really important as to what decision is made and what decision the people wanted. And then I also think we have to listen to what they say, because maybe that is something we need to go back and revisit, but it has to occur under the bylaws, and maybe the communication hasn't always been great between the board and the community. So there has to be that communication always.
Okay, great. What role do you see yourself playing on the board?
I don't know yet, because that's a lot of working parts. like I need to get in there and kind of feel my way around and see because everybody's good at something. So let's figure out what we're all best at and what we can contribute the most at. Because there are people that have been on this board far longer than I have, and they have a lot to offer. They have a lot of insight. So let's figure out what they have to offer, and then let's figure out what I have to offer.
Okay, thank you. What do you believe is the most important role of an HOA board member?
I think we need to listen. I know the board that we've had has been very, very good about ensuring our property values. And that is a thing. That is 100% a thing. I think we also need to listen to the people that live here, because sometimes the people that live here don't always communicate with the property value. I mean, we love our property value, but we also want to feel like, hey, we live here. Let's understand the people that live here.
Okay, thank you. How do you prioritize the needs of the community when resources are limited?
Well, I taught for 38 years. I mean, no, there wasn't a lot of budget there. I'm one of those that looks at what the end result. What is the end result that we want? Okay, and so then we take steps. Okay, this is the end result. This is what we want. Now, sometimes the money's not there. And I'm not a proponent of just blowing money. But we also have to understand that we need to look at where we want to go and how are we going to get from point A to point B. Whether that means property values, whether that means improvements at the lake house, whether that means improvements around here. But once we decide where we want to be, then we have to go from there.
Okay, thank you. What experience do you have with budgeting and financial management?
A lot. So as far as teaching, you had a budget and you had to monitor, you had to work within that budget. But when I was growing up, my dad was a coach and administrator, but we were also farmers and ranchers. So I knew very early what a budget meant. I knew when a cow died that was going to cost something. So I knew when I was teaching that this is the money you've been given. You make the most of what it is. And I feel like that transfers to the HOA board. This is how much money we have. We can't go over that. But we also need to do the best we can with what we have.
Okay, thank you. How would you balance the need for maintenance and improvements with the financial constraints of the community?
Maintenance is important. We have a beautiful place. It needs to be maintained. People are coming in here to buy homes. We need to understand that what they see at first is their first impression. And according to the advertisement, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. But that is a thing. So maintenance is very important. Now, budget-wise, we have to look at what we're allowed to do. I mean, we only have so much money. We can't do it all at once. We have to understand there might be a timetable as to when this happens. But that's we have to maintain where we are.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any final thoughts that you would like for our residents to take away from your interview?
We live in a great place. We've had a board that has tried to take care of it. I have fresh eyes. Everybody needs, we can enjoy where we are, but we can also be better. And sometimes that takes somebody new coming in and seeing where we are. And I can offer that. Like I've only been here 5 years. Many people have been here 7, 8, 10 years. But I feel like I can look at things a little different and say, maybe we could change this or tweak this. We're not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but sometimes changes need to happen. And so I feel like I can offer that.
Okay, well, great. Thank you so much for coming in and interviewing with us, and good luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it.